Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Disciple Town. My name is Ryan, and I'm really happy that you have chosen to join me for another week of stories, songs, and crafts all about the life of Joseph. Lots of good stuff in the story of Joseph. Today is Saturday, June 12th. We got lots of fun friends with us this week. We got Disciple Town citizens Lucas, Felix, Asher, and our special citizens for the first time, Simeon and Benjamin are going to be with us all month long. And hey kids, if you would like to be a part of filming Disciple Town, send us a direct message. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to get you scheduled to come in and film. And just a reminder that through the summer months, we are not only going to be live streaming Disciple Town to you on Saturday mornings, but we have our live Disciple Town experience at our Bolingbrook campus at 301 East Boughton Road, the first and the third weekends of every month. So that will be next Saturday. Weather permitting, we will have the live stream and we will be live in person. Come see me, come see Pastor David, come see Miss Clarissa, come see Miss Autumn, Miss Aria, Miss Debbie, everybody, all your friends from Disciple Town, live at 11:30 Central Time, right here in Bolingbrook. Let's get started. Boys and girls, one of the great things that we can do anytime we want to, or anytime we need to, is pray. Whether we're having a great day, whether we're having some problems, or whether we just want someone to chat to, God is always up there and He's always listening. Just like in the story of Joseph. Good things happened to Joseph, and some bad things happened to Joseph. But God was always there and always ready to hear him pray. Hey Benny, Can you tell us some things about prayer?
What's the 3 things to get ready to pray?
What's the first one?
The first one, close your hands.
Can you fold your hands with me? Let's sing. When it's time to pray, I fold my hands, fold my hands, fold my hands. When it's time to pray, I fold my hands, and then I talk to Jesus. What's the second thing we do, Benny?
We bend our knees.
Yes, can you show us how to bend your knees? When it's time to pray, I bend my knees, bend my knees, bend my knees. When it's time to pray, I bend my knees, and then I talk to Jesus. Benny, what's the third thing we do to get ready to pray?
Close our eyes.
Yes, can you all close your eyes with me? Let's sing. When it's time to pray, I close my eyes, close my eyes, close my eyes. When it's time to pray, I close my eyes, and then I talk to Jesus. Let's talk to Jesus, boys and girls. Benny, you want to pray?
Thank you, Jesus, for our food. Bless us, be safe. Let Auntie Leilani's baby be feeling good again. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Great stories like Joseph's come from the Bible.
The Bible is chock full of wonderful stories and good lessons for all of us to help us know how to live and for us to have real evidence that God is always up there and He's always looking out for us. And I've got Disciple Town citizen Simeon here. Hey Simeon, can you help us sing the Bible song?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Bible, Bible,
Jesus talks to me. Take a look in the book. Jesus talks to me. Bible, Bible, Jesus talks to me. Take a look in the book. Jesus talks to me. Today's story is about Joseph. It says, Joseph had a colorful coat of yellow, red, and blue. God gave him dreams and made him wise, and all the dreams came true. Boys and girls, our story today is all about Joseph, who is one of the key figures of the Old Testament. The story goes like this. Joseph's father, Jacob, was a Hebrew who lived in the city of Canaan. Jacob had 12 sons, but Jacob's favorite son was Joseph. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a special present, which was a very expensive, beautiful coat of many colors. This made Joseph very happy, but it made Joseph's brothers angry and jealous. One night, Joseph had a strange dream. He told his brothers how they had all been in the harvest field tying up the corn when their bundles of corn bowed down to Joseph's bundle of corn. Another time, Joseph dreamed that the sun and the moon and 11 stars were all bowing down to him. Again, he told his brothers about this dream that he had, but the dream made them very angry. They guessed that the dream was about them bowing down to Joseph, and they didn't like that idea at all. One day, Joseph went out to check on his brothers in the fields. When they saw Joseph, they were so angry and so jealous, they wanted to kill him. But instead, they decided they would throw him down into a deep pit. Soon after, some merchants were on their way to Egypt. They were walking by. The brothers decided they were going to get rid of Joseph. They were going to sell Joseph to those merchants as a slave and make some money. So they took off his beautiful coat of many colors and they handed him over to the merchants for 20 silver coins. The brothers then dipped Joseph's coat in goat's blood and took it to their father. "Father," they said, "we found Joseph's coat and it's covered in blood. He must have been killed. We don't know what happened." Oh, Jacob was very sad and very upset. But meanwhile, Joseph was taken to Egypt and sold as a slave to a rich man named Potiphar. Joseph worked very hard for Potiphar and was soon put in charge of Potiphar's entire house, and he was in charge of all the other servants who were there. Sadly, Joseph got in trouble again. Joseph made Potiphar's wife very angry, and she made up terrible lies about him, and he was put into prison. While Joseph was in prison, two men who worked for Pharaoh was the king of Egypt. Two men who had worked for the Pharaoh were also locked up in jail with Joseph. One was a baker. The baker told Joseph a strange dream that he had had, and Joseph explained what the dream meant to him, though it was bad news for the baker. There was also the cupbearer who was in jail with Joseph. A cupbearer is someone who tests the drinks for the king before they have them to make sure they're okay to drink. The cupbearer was also having a strange dream. Joseph explained his dream to him. This time the news was good. And a few days later, the cupbearer was released from jail, and Joseph asked the cupbearer, "Please remember me when you go into Pharaoh's court." A while later, the Pharaoh started to have strange dreams. No one could tell him what they meant. The cupbearer told the Pharaoh about Joseph. So Joseph was sent for, and the Pharaoh told Joseph all about his dreams. In one dream, 7 fat cows came out of the Nile River, followed by 7 skinny cows. In the second dream, 7 fat stalks of corn were eaten by 7 skinny ones. Joseph explained those dreams to the Pharaoh. He said there would be 7 good years of harvest where there was plenty to eat and everybody would be full, followed by 7 years of famine. A famine means there's no food anywhere and everybody goes hungry. He told the Pharaoh that they should store corn so they would not starve. The Pharaoh heard this and listened to Joseph, decided to store up that corn, and promoted Joseph to be the governor over Egypt. Back in Canaan, Jacob and his sons were starving. They had run out of food in the famine. So Jacob sent 10 of his sons to Egypt to buy corn from the governor of Egypt. That was Joseph. When they got to Egypt, they did not recognize Joseph when they saw him. It had been a long time. Joseph accused them of being spies and said he would give them corn, but they have to return with their youngest brother. And Simeon would have to stay in prison. They soon returned to Egypt with Benjamin, the youngest brother. Joseph welcomed them and set Simeon free. On their way home, a horseman came after them. He accused them of stealing the governor's silver cup. To their horror, they actually found the silver cup. It was in Benjamin's sack of corn, so it looked like they had stolen the cup. They were taken back to the palace. Boys and girls, this was all part of Joseph's plan to find out what kind of people his brothers were now. When they got there, he said, Benjamin must stay behind as my slave." But Judah, the brother who had sold Joseph to begin with, said, "Oh, if you keep Benjamin, my father will be so sad. He will die of grief. Please keep me instead." When Joseph saw that his brothers had changed and their hearts were no longer evil, and they had compassion for each other and their brothers, he hugged them and he said, "Hey guys, it's me, it's Joseph. I'm the brother that you sold so many years ago." It was a wonderful reunion. And soon after, Joseph's entire family moved to Egypt to be with Joseph, and they were all a happy family once again. Boys and girls, in this story, Joseph's family was not always very nice to him. His brothers sold him as a slave, and they told their dad that he had been killed. But Joseph had compassion for his family, and he saw that when their hearts had changed, he forgave them, and he took them back into his good graces. And he shared all of the food that he had with them, and they didn't go hungry anymore. God loves it when we show compassion to the people in our life too. Sometimes people aren't always kind to us, but we can disagree with each other, but we can always be kind, and we can always forgive. And the story of Joseph shows us that no matter what happens to us, God is always watching. God is always in control. God knows your name. God knows what you need. And when we show compassion to other people, when we are kind to other people, God can be kind to us too. Boys and girls, in our story today, we know that Joseph got a beautiful coat of many colors. Now, most of the time, we see that coat of many colors pictured as having stripes. But actually, the Bible never says whether it was stripes, whether it was polka dots, whether it was chevrons, whether it was houndstooth, whether it was scribbles, or anything. So today, we're going to use chalk dots, and we are going to make our own shirts of many colors, just to show that they might have been stripes, they might have been something else. All that we know is we know that it was a beautiful and awesome coat. So, let's get started! Oh, so no matter what that coat of many colors looked like, we knew that it was beautiful, we knew that it had lots of colors on it, and we knew that it was something that Joseph really, really loved. Let's take a look at what we got here.
You might need one of your special adults, but you will need to cut it in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just cut it in a line like that.
All right, let's do it.
And then you might need your special adult to draw a circle, and then you're gonna wanna cut it out with a face on it if you want to.
Maybe something about like that.
Yeah. That's a ginormous.
Can you guys draw your face in there? Okay, and then you can cut it out. Would you guys like me to cut it out, or would you like to cut it out?
Me. You. Just like that.
All right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a glue stick and we are going to put a little dab of glue right in the middle, and then we're going to attach that head.
I can barely see it, but I know where it is. Dad, that's a line.
What are we going to do next, Simeon?
And then you're going to get a lot of colors if you want to. It doesn't matter how many you want. You can use a rainbow. You're gonna want to draw like all of the colors reflecting off his coat.
And parents, here's a pro tip while they're coloring. Use the back side of the plate because that will take the marker much better than the shiny side of the plate will in front. And there you have it, boys and girls. You've got your paper plate coats of many colors. You can design these however you like, and it can help you imagine what a beautiful coat Joseph got as that present from his dad. It made his brothers jealous, but it was a very, very nice coat. Boys and girls, in our story today, Joseph's family wasn't always very nice to him, and Joseph had to put his family to the test to see if they had really changed their heart. Now, some of us are born into families that are great. Some of us are born into families that have some troubles. But we are all part of one family, and that is the family of God. I'm a part of that family. You're a part of that family.
And everyone.
All of our Disciple Town citizens are a part.
And everyone.
That's right. Everyone's a part of the family of God. So let's sing our song, The Family of God. You ready, boys?
Yes! Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm a part of the family of God. I've been washed in the fountain, cleansed by the blood. Join hands with Jesus as we travel this sod. For I'm part of the family of God. For I'm part of the family of God.
Thanks for joining us in Disciple Town, boys and girls.
And remember, the first and the third Saturdays of every month throughout the summer, we have our live Disciple Town experience in addition to our webcasts here on Saturday mornings. So, we kick off at 11:30 Central Time at our campus on 301 East Boughton in Bolingbrook. Felix, you ready to sing our goodbye song?
You bet.
Let's do it. Disciple Town is over and we are going now. Goodbye, goodbye, be always kind and true. Goodbye, goodbye, be always kind and true.
We'll see you right back next week.